Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's finally here! Crap. The hype train can be a deadly thing. So many promises made, so few kept. I never like getting aboard, but sometimes I can't help but feel that little twinge of excitement deep in my gamer being. Payday 2 is a game that I am genuinely excited for. Overkill is back at it, bringing the crime simulator back in full glory, this time ready to fully realize the grim, money-filled universe they first brought us back in 2011. The four criminals are back. Hoxton, Chains, Dallas, and Wolf rampage through DC, the oyster for the crime fiesta that is taking place. Unlike the previous title's action-packed thrill rides, Payday 2 is very open to the diverse approaches offered by its heists. Stealth is a very viable option, allowing players to take out cash quickly and efficiently by controlling civilians and guards. The approach certainly takes more coordination than run and gun, but the success of a heist without a wave of cops breaking the mood is fantastic. The game's original goal of simply surviving has morphed, instead becoming a fantastic mix of planning, execution, and teamwork. Stealth doesn't always work out. A civilian in an alley gets neglected and manages to phone the cops before taking off to freedom. Players are warned by an on-screen prompt that police have been notified and preparations must be made for the coming onslaught of officers. Patrol cars filter in, a few first responders who are quickly dispatched, and the boys hunker down for the assault wave. Assault waves are surprisingly different than the first game. Gone are the massive hordes of special units accentuated by a few SWAT officers and FBI agents. Instead, the hordes are largely made up of traditional non-special units, with the number of specials being used calculated by difficulty level, hostages killed, and so on. While fewer in number, the normal cops and special units now seem much more difficult, showing skill level appropriate to their job and an aggressive nature rivaling Gandhi from Civ 5. Even bulldozers were not safe from the change, showing up fairly rarely in pairs, and rather than being the ultimate death-dealing/defying machines of hatred, are fairly easy to dispatch with a series of well-placed headshots. The new system rewards teamwork, working together to flank, punch through, and control crowds to most effectively adapt to the situation you find yourself in. It's frantic, stressful, and intense as hell. Guns also made the change to the new Payday in a rather fantastic fashion. Weapons are unlocked based on the player's overall level, opening up a much wider selection of firearms very quickly. Traditional weapons like the AMCAR and M308 return to the fray, with quite a few new weapons also making appearances to round out every possible weapon choice the player could want. The best addition, without a doubt, is the attachment system. Weapons can now be customized at the leisure of the player, assuming that a loot card has dropped the appropriate attachment and that you have the money to make it. Previously, upgrades were unlocked linearly along the class tree, but the freedom to customize your weapon as you see fit is a truly wondrous thing. There is plenty to choose from, too, allowing you to mold your guns into long-range sniper rifles or close-quarters machines of death. Skills are also now chosen. The game features 4 trees: the Ghost, Technician, Mastermind, and Enforcer, each with very unique playstyles and tools to assist the team. Skill points are gained while leveling, and max level will allow for specialization into multiple trees, creating an interesting cross of classes that can overcome any situation. Each tree has 19 abilities, with a second tier known as Acing that grants additional bonuses, bringing the total count of unique bonuses per class to 38. Each class brings a ton to the table, and the non-linear class progression is a welcome change to the series. Alongside gun and class customization, players now have full control of mask customization. Players attain mask customization items and new masks through card drops, and then combine them to form the most badass mask possible. Overkill has stated that there are over 15.2 million combinations for masks, and the system allows for some pretty cool ways to make your character unique in a sea of bank heisters. Up to this point, I've mentioned the card system a few times. Essentially, at the end of a heist, players are given a choice of one of 3 cards. These cards are random and come in 3 flavors. Weapon cards are the source of all weapon modifications, mask cards contain masks and mask customization items, and cash cards contain cash rewards. No game is perfect, and this system is where I start to have problems. For one, I found the cash cards to be especially annoying. I just finished a heist that paid me $300,000 in spending cash, and a bonus of $6 to $17 grand just isn't worth the time investment to get there. The card takes place of a potentially more useful item like a weapon mod for my beloved M308, or even just a cosmetic upgrade from a mask card. The card, from what I can gather, essentially exists for the sole purpose of making the possibility of getting either of the other two lower, thus increasing the amount of time theoretically required to reach the point where no further rewards are needed. It's a bad way to pan out gameplay, and led to many frustrated sighs after an hour-long heist. The low drop chance of useful items from weapons and mask cards already make it difficult to get items. The inclusion of cash cards further dilutes that pool in an unnecessary way. Some of the sacrificed elements for game balance also stick out. Masterminds, for example, have an ability that allows intimidation of police officers, eliminating the need to kill guards at the beginning of a heist, which makes stealth leagues easier. I suppose I should say a guard. The ability to intimidate guards is limited to one guard at a time, supposedly in order to keep people from intimidating whole waves of cops. This becomes a problem on larger heists such as a bank, where 4 or more guards patrol the grounds. 3 pagers of dead guards can be answered before an alarm is sounded, 4 if you are a mastermind who specialized fairly deep into the tree. Both the lack of the ability for other classes to effectively intimidate, and the need for answering pagers essentially, in terms of larger heists, forces the players to play a certain way if they wish to maintain stealth, which is not such a great thing for a game that hoists the flag of do it your way. Perhaps a smaller issue I had was with the heavily armored FBI agents. By no means are they impossible to kill, but taking 2 M308 rounds to the head as body shots are deflected felt like killing them was a chore. For weapons that have a lower ammunition capacity, it brought the potential ratio for kills versus ammo used down drastically. Every other unit I found fun to fight, and interesting to look at, but the heavy FBI agents, given the precision required to hit them and the amount of shots to kill, felt like a black sheep in a horde of ducks. In the end, the issues with Payday 2 only really pop up if you're looking for them. The game is a blast to play, a visual improvement over the first, and almost all of the new systems accomplish exactly what I always wanted from a heist simulator. Tons of customization, lots of unique places to go, and freedom to do things generally my way. For the entry price, the game is an absolute steal for hours and hours of fun with friends and strangers. Payday 2, from Overkill Software, gets an 8 out of 10. The game is available on Steam now for $29.99 or your regional equivalent, and until next time, stay awesome, and cheers.